Truly free, be stopped never through all that's happening.
Well, you guys wanted this, and I'm not one to disappoint. When it comes to the long list of Sonic's rivals, there is one that stands out and is arguably the most famed rival, but that's enough about Shadow. Metal Sonic, however, is another much-loved rival who has stood the test of time, for better or for worse, and doesn't seem to be disappearing anytime soon. To this day, he still makes appearances in many forms of Sonic media, but like other characters in the series, there's been a change, and not one for the better. My love for this character has waned over the years, and it's sad that I say that because I used to really like Metal Sonic. I used to think he was so cool. I remember first seeing him on the cover of Sonic Gems collection and thinking, how the f*** do I play as this guy? He was, in my opinion, a perfect rival. A robot copy of Sonic with sharp, metallic features who's been perfectly designed to match Sonic in every way. It was a formula that couldn't fail, right? Right? But, as always, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's delve back into the classics and work our way up, as per usual. But before we begin this analysis, I just want to announce that I now finally have a Patreon. So, if you want to directly support this channel and get some pretty nice perks while you're at it, then feel free to do so using the link in the description. Yes, that was a shameless plug, now back to the analysis. Metal Sonic first appeared in 1993's Sonic CD. After making your way through Palm Tree Panic, you encounter Amy Rose for the first time, but that encounter is short-lived as from the side of the screen we get Metal Sonic, who smashes his way through a bunch of spikes and kidnaps Amy while Sonic is left helpless to watch. Now that is a cool character introduction. Well, as cool as you can get for an early 90s platformer anyways. To have Metal Sonic smash through spikes, which Sonic himself cannot do, and then to take Amy while Sonic can do nothing but watch, shows us just how threatening Metal Sonic actually is. But then, he kinda has a disappearing act. We have to suffer through a few more stages of this game's level design before we encounter him again. Seriously, what is this shit? Who put the rings in the walls? Oh, come on, now you're just taking the piss. Whilst going through the game, you do see some holograms of Metal Sonic abusing animals, which does add to that uncaring and mechanical nature of his character. It's a nice little tidbit, but I wished we got to see more things like that just to really build him up, or at the very least, just get some more appearances out of him. But eventually, we make it to Stardust Speedway, where we have our final encounter with Metal Sonic. Now, this boss fight works in tandem with Metal Sonic's character, as it isn't the type of boss fight that we're accustomed to. You know, the ones that usually take place in a static location where you just have to hit an enemy a certain number of times. Instead, this boss fight is dictated by speed, where you race each other to the end whilst avoiding Metal's attacks. This makes this one of the more personal fights in the series, as Metal Sonic was created with the sole intention of being a superior Sonic. So, instead of challenging him to a feat of strength, he challenges him to what Sonic is most known for, his speed. This sort of superiority complex with the character is something that will get explored further down the line, but it makes for such a unique and almost cinematic boss fight. But once the fight is concluded, that's it. Metal Sonic doesn't make another appearance for the rest of the game, and that kind of sucks. With how awesome this character was, I do wish that he had a greater presence, especially since he's on the cover art of the game. Past this, Metal Sonic kind of takes a back seat for a bit. He still makes appearances in a fair few games, but nothing really to service or display his character. His most prolific appearance during this phase of the franchise has to have been Knuckles Chaotix, where he fights the protagonists on multiple occasions. It was definitely awesome to see Metal Sonic return and duke it out with other characters in the franchise, but it's his final boss fight that really cements his place in this game. After being exposed to the power of the Dark Ring, Metal Sonic transforms into a fucking Gundam on steroids. That, ladies and gentlemen, is Metal Sonic Kai, and I think it's safe to say that it's pretty fucking cool. So cool, in fact, that he actually reprises a very similar transformation in Sonic Mania. But you know what makes this encounter even more awesome? That this is the first fight in the games where Metal Sonic is the final boss, not Robotnik. But this game didn't really add too much to his character overall, more so put the same character into a different situation. Metal Sonic's appearances dwindle heavily past this, with him appearing in a bunch of spin-off games, or as an unlockable character in Adventure 1, and as a multiplayer exclusive character in Adventure 2. At this point, his character is just being added to these games as a novelty, rather than to incorporate him into the story, which is cool. But then his disappearance comes to an end with what is, in my opinion, his greatest appearance in the franchise. Sonic Heroes. Finally, I get to talk about Sonic Heroes and not have to criticize it. Fuck all you guys who question why Heroes is my favorite game. Ah, sweet, sweet redemption. In Sonic Heroes, you play as 4 different teams, each having their own goals and motives for the journey. Throughout each team's story, you will encounter Robotnik several times, usually as a boss fight. It all seems pretty standard until each one of the teams encounters this fake Robotnik. It's mostly brushed off, but then as it turns out, it was Metal Sonic the whole time. Metal Sonic was assuming the role of Robotnik in order to fight the characters so that he could copy their data and abilities in order to assimilate them into his own arsenal. And, as you will soon find out, Metal Sonic decided to overthrow Robotnik and imprison him in some random room that Team Chaotix later find him in, gaining control of his entire armada in the process. Oh, I should also point out that in this game, this is Neo Metal Sonic, a slightly upgraded transformation of Metal Sonic. But don't get too attached to this form, because in the last story, Metal Sonic uses all the data he's collected on the characters to transform into his strongest form yet. Metal Madness. And boy, does he take his time doing so.
How long is this gonna go on?
There's also one little thing that I want to point out about Robotnik's response to the transformation. In the Robotnik character analysis, I stated that it felt out of character for him to respond in this very defeatist way, unlike his response to Chaos in Sonic Adventure, where he took Perfect Chaos head-on after the betrayal. I still feel like it was a tiny bit off as to how he would respond, but a lot of you pointed out how Robotnik wasn't very out of character, and after reading a lot of these comments, I can mostly agree. It was that he knew the full extent of Metal Sonic's powers, and that's why he knew that the only chance they had of beating him was to get the Chaos Emeralds. And that's a pretty scary thought when you think about it, as Robotnik has gladly taken a God of Destruction head-on, but knows that there is no way of beating his own creation. It's actually a pretty solid way to show just how much of a threat Metal Sonic actually is. It takes 3 teams working together to try to defeat Metal Madness, and just when you think he's beaten, he pulls a "this isn't even my final form," and then fully completes his transformation, becoming Metal Overlord. And yeah, this boss fight is fucking awesome. It's during this fight that we actually get to understand more of Metal Sonic's motives for his actions through his dialogue. I mean, just the first line already tells us a good amount.
Long time no see, Sonic. My loathsome copy.
This line shows us that Metal detests Sonic and sees him as the copy. But there are a couple more lines here that are a bit more telling.
Sonic, I was created for the sole purpose of destroying you. But I can never seem to defeat you. That is why I transform my own body with my own hands. I am the ultimate overlord, Metal Sonic. I am the real Sonic.
These lines give way to his motive, which is to defeat Sonic to prove to himself that he is the real Sonic, and in so doing asserting his existence through fulfilling his purpose. And that is what makes Metal Sonic so compelling. He's not fueled by egotistical tendencies or by the want of destruction. It's his purpose that motivates him. From his inception, he was designed to be a better version of Sonic, a form of Sonic without the limitations of being an organic life form, and with the power to match Sonic and in some cases even surpass him. Metal Sonic wants nothing more than to fulfill his purpose of defeating Sonic, and we can see that he will stop at nothing to achieve that goal. His purpose supersedes even his own creator in Dr. Robotnik as he turns on him. This is because Metal Sonic's drive to exist is his purpose, and the failure to fulfill that purpose would invalidate his entire existence. At least that's the way he sees it. And in the end, he loses. Again. I love how this game looks at Metal Sonic's character. It shows us how far he's willing to go to defeat his rival, to prove his power and worthiness to not only Robotnik, but to himself. I've heard the argument from many about how they disliked how Metal Sonic had so many different forms, as it made his original form look weak and powerless by comparison, and I can't agree with that statement. I think that him transforming himself into something completely unrecognizable to his original form shows how far he's willing to go. I think that, if anything, it adds to his character. But this sort of depth with his character isn't something that's really explored at all past this game. Prior to Heroes, there was the pretty awesome Sonic OVA that gave us a great look at Metal Sonic,
We should do this again sometime.
Dice is on the beat.